Hello and welcome to another Demon 212 Wii review. Today I'm going to be taking a look at the House of the Dead Overkill, which if you've never played it before, it's basically an old school arcade shooter like gun game, only it's new and not out in the arcades. At least I don't think so. So anyway, at the start you basically choose your profile, then from there, options you can calibrate your aim and that, which I suppose is good if you like to calibrate things. You've got some mini games, director's cut's what you unlock, so I'll get onto that a bit later, but now I'll start on story mode. You can choose extra mutants or like normal mutants, so that's pretty cool because it means more things to shoot at. And obviously the game is 2-player co-op, which I'll be showing off now. There's some very nice weapons, which basically that's them there, and you can also get a minigun as well, but that's for the story mission, and you can unlock the minigun, but you have to fully beat everything pretty much. So I'm just going to take the bog standard shotgun and assault rifle for now, I think. So anyway, as I say, it's basically an on-rails arcade shooter. The whole point is you shoot things. The more things you shoot in a row without missing, the more points you get for a multiplier until you finally get the Gorgasm. You get money for getting Gorgasms and for having it for as long and for getting good accuracy and things like that, and obviously the money can then be spent on upgrading weapons and that. While I do love the game and think that Sega's pretty much the only developer releasing decent games on the Wii at the moment, because obviously there's Mad World as well and the Conduit's coming up, which I know that's high voltage, but it's Sega's the reason that Europe's getting it, because high voltage refused to release games over here regularly, which is a bit of a shame. But it's one of them things that, as I say, it's not perfect because there's slight flaws in it. You've got a certain amount of civilians to rescue and brains to get and that, and some levels it's just plain wrong. Because the train level says there's 3 civilians to rescue, and there's only actually 2. So all the time it's saying you haven't got like the perfect on it by getting all 3 civilians, when 2's literally the maximum you can get. There's another level that does it as well, and I can't remember which one it is at the moment. So it does have its odd glitches. There's also some really bad slowdown at times, and the slowdown and jitteriness, to be fair, can affect your accuracy, because it's the type of thing that just as you're setting a shot up, it'll jump and then all of a sudden your aim's over, like, well, 5 centimetres to the right or something, and you miss. There's a few things you can get on the game, like these grenades here, which are pretty cool, but at the same time they can be pretty useless. There are story cutscenes, and the voice acting's one of them where it's so bad it's good. It's basically your generic buddy cop setting, and one of them's like all, well, I wouldn't say posh, but exactly, he's proper, and the other one's just full-on abusive and sweary. So it is tried and tested formula with buddy cop, and some of the dialogue between the two is actually funny. There's bosses on the end of every level, and obviously the bosses vary from this giant insect thing that we're going to fight at the end of here to just like a psychic brain freak, and you obviously kill them in different ways. Pretty much nothing else left to mention though about enemy types, because it is just basically zombie after zombie, and every now and then you get ones that can grab you and stuff like that, and you'll fight ones on the carnival with body armour because they're football players and just things like that. Musically, the game's pretty bog standard and basic. It's just there in the background. You're not really going to notice it, but I'll still shut up anyway. So anyway, that was a bit of the music, and to be fair, a small bit of the voice acting. This is obviously one of the bosses. A few things I'm just going to mention while my brother kills the boss. So look at the big cursor. Obviously it shows you ammo on the left and right, it shows the boss gauge at the bottom there. The target in the boxes is basically showing you how well you've done with getting the Gorgasm. The little boxes is your health, which you can get health. You can also, as well as finding the grenades and that, get power-ups to basically slow things down. And obviously your score is the other number on the screen. Just mentioning back to the Director's Cut, basically when you beat the game you get the Director's Cut versions of the levels, so it's just a nice way of adding a bit of replayability, because there's slight differences, nothing really too major, but it's standard stuff really, and it's just one of them things that I personally find the game highly replayable as it is. I've played through the first story about 7 times now already, and I've still got the Director's Cut left to do, so if I play through that another 7 times, then obviously that's a lot of gameplay there. Pretty much nothing really left to say other than that you can get other bog standard unlockables like images and videos and just stuff like that, and music tracks, so nothing too well worthy with that stuff. I do find the game very fun, and there's also the mini games, which I did say I'd show off, so I'm just going to quickly cut into one of them. So anyway, basically this is one of the mini games. You've got to save the civilians. It can be played with 4 people, so it's a case of like you've got to save your colour civilians. I'm red, so I've got to save the guys in red, and my brother's blue, so he's got to save the guys in blue. Obviously, there's then I believe the other colours are green and yellow, which is funny because that blue door so looks like a green door to me anyway. There's also like a little shooting gallery type thing, and there's also survival mode and that, so it's one of them things. The biggest problem with this mod, as you might have already noticed, you can kill each other's civilians, so it kind of makes you think, well, what's the point in doing that? I mean, you still lose points for it, but it's the type of thing that if someone knows they've lost anywhere, they can just screw each other over and by killing everyone else's civilians and that, so a bit of a flaw in it, but it's still one of them things. The mini-games aren't really anything well-worthy, and I severely doubt you'll play them more than 2 minutes. As I was saying though, I do find the game very fun, and as I say, I think it's one of the best games to come out on the Wii in a long time. Quite frankly, if Sega keep this up, then I'm going to start asking for another console from them, because recently some of their stuff's been really good. While I wasn't a massive fan of the Sonic game, it was better than some of their other Sonic games, and it's the type of thing that I think Nintendo needs to book up their ideas, because Sega are embarrassing them on their own console. But that's just my thoughts, and I know I'll get flamed for that last comment. So there we go then, that's been the review. I hope you've enjoyed it, or at least found it helpful. You might have noticed I didn't score the game. Well, that's because it's a matter of personal opinion, and yours may very well differ from my own. I'm just here to show you a bit about the game. If you like it or not, well, that's up to you. If you don't like it, or you do like it, feel free to comment. Also, if I haven't answered any of your questions that you may have had, I might have forgot something, or it might just be something obscure. Again, feel free to comment, ask, always willing to help out. Otherwise, if you don't like commenting on YouTube, head over to www.vc-forums.com, where you can chat with me and a bunch of other lads who love the VC, the WiiWare, and hell, even a lot of other systems. We cater to pretty much everything. You can just go there, have a chat about a game, ask about some games, etc. So until next time, this has been Demon212, signing off.